Hi, I'm Matt Call with Great Basin Incident Management Team 1. We're here on the Mount Hood National Forest on the Camp Creek fire. We're going to show you what's going on today and what our plans are. This is our main briefing map. You probably have seen this before. This is the 26 highway, and we have Brightwood down here and about 4.5 miles to the fire perimeter. I'm going to switch to our tactical map to get a little bit more detail so I can kind of show you some finite details of what we've got going on. We're still at 16% containment. Our acreage is up to 1,922, and that's just from an IR flight we got last night that makes our perimeter a little bit more accurate. So we anticipate more, we will have more containment tomorrow, and I'll show you where that's at with this map. So we've got on this road here, we've got what we call indirect line. I'll shift it over here so it's a little easier for you to see. But right here, we've been able to do some mopping up, and we're going to have some more containment right there tomorrow. So you'll see the black edge there will be represented right there again. Now, what percentage will that be? I don't know. The people with the math stuff have to do that. We'll probably have some more containment on this south end as well. It might not be tomorrow, but probably the day after. This road was a piece of indirect line, and we call this an eyebrow, so there's a bunch of unburned fuel here. Well, this burned quite a few days ago, and what happened was that where the crews were able to go in there, mitigate some of the snag hazards that we had, so they were actually able to go in there and construct direct hand line right on the edge. That's why that line is so squiggly. That's the actual line that the hotshots hiked and worked. So there's hand line in there. There's a fire edge along there. And then we'll change this perimeter to represent what the actual line edge there. So that will turn black, if not tomorrow, probably the day after. So slowly but surely we're getting more and more contained line. And as this fire burns, some of those pieces that are indirect, we might be able to do exactly what we did here is go direct. Some of those bigger areas here on the east side, we have a large section that's indirect. This is a pretty tough piece of ground, and we don't know if we'll be able to go direct in there. I'm going to show you some other pictures of what that looks like so you can kind of see the problem that we're dealing with. So for an idea of what the terrain looks like, we're looking at this piece right here. We'll kind of flip it, and I'm going to spin so we can kind of see what that drainage looks like. And then we'll zoom in, and that gives us an idea what our fuels look like and our terrain. So we have a little different coloring here. This is a different stand of trees. It was either logged or controlled burn sometime a few decades ago. They were doing some management like that. And there's a little bit of a riparian area down here. And then our 12 road and the 14 road, which is over here. So that's kind of what that spot looks like. Now we're going to show you some actual footage. We had our unmanned aerial aircraft, our uncrewed aerial aircraft, and it was flying yesterday. And here's kind of what that area looks like. And a lot of people think it's just going to be a big moonscape, smoked out thing. Well, there's fire all in there, but the edge isn't really clean, and it's not really easy to find. And that's one of the problems with actually going and constructing line is it's not a real clean edge. So as we zoom in here, you can kind of see in some areas it's pretty well defined, but it's kind of a hard edge to find. In some of the riparian areas, it doesn't burn real clean. So we got a good fire edge there, but there might be spots of fire out here. So if we don't go out to the road, we have to find every single one of those edges and make a fire perimeter around all of them, and that's pretty tough. From this view, it doesn't look like there's a lot of fire in there. Looks pretty benign. We'll go over to that smoke and we'll put it out. Well, when we fly it with the other thing that happens when we fly that is it also does infrared. And this, hopefully you can see this, but when we start looking at it with the infrared, you can see these spots here. I'm going to pause it in here in just a sec when it gets to where I want it. You can see all this heat in there. That's all heat hiding up in the trees. So that drone that's flying can see all those, not only in the daytime or when it's smoky, but if we're doing night ops, it can look out in the green where we don't want the fire, and it will see these, and it can alert the firefighters so they can go find those smokes. Look at all these little heats that you wouldn't be able to see. They're hard enough to see in the day, So let alone night, they're just going to be impossible to see. So that's kind of what the fire edge is going to look like right now up in that area. I'm going to go back to our main map. So again, we're looking at this drainage looking down. So it kind of gives you an idea how dirty and messy that edge is, and why we keep reverting back to this as kind of our main line, our main perimeter. This is our tactical map, and all these dots just mean different tactical things. This is a drop point. This is places where we're putting different material and fuels to chip it and move it around. And these maps help us a whole bunch because they're kind of interactive, and we can change these icons, we can move them around, and it's a way for people in the field to get data to us, and us to send data to them. So that's kind of about what's going on. Not a whole lot of changes. We're still working on these contingency lines out here, but we're pretty happy with the direction things are going. We're hoping that tomorrow we'll have a dry enough consistency that we'll be able to clean up some of these edges and start working on that burning operation. So you might see a little bit more smoke in the air, maybe today, but more likely tomorrow and the next day. That's all we've got for you today, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.